Welcome in, everybody. Hope you're doing well on this Monday evening, and we appreciate you joining us on the Monday OT. We are going to have Coach Chandra Macklin joining us here momentarily. It will not take long. I think she's going to be calling us in, and she's joining us here in just one moment. We also have Coach Ronald Abernathy set to join us about 7:15, and then at 7:30, we are hoping that we can touch base with Colin Streeter. He is on daddy duty tonight as his wife is out of pocket for a little bit, and so we will see kind of if we can touch base with him here in just a little while. But right now we do have Coach Chandra Macklin on the phone. Coach Macklin, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. It's so good to have you on with us tonight, and appreciate you taking time for us here on Viking News On Demand. And we are welcoming folks. We have a brand new website called VikingNewsOnDemand.com, Coach. We actually have moved away from just being on social media, because we've had quite a few folks want to watch y'all's games, but they don't have social media and don't know how to get on YouTube. So if you want to help get that word out, they can go to VikingNewsOnDemand.com. And we appreciate the Viking Booster Club for helping us get that set up. And the followers are growing. And Coach, you've got just a few games left. It's hard to believe basketball season is coming to a close.
It is, and it's been a ride, but it's been an enjoyable ride.
Yes, ma'am, definitely so. Now, y'all have got a long trip coming up tomorrow night, going all the way down to Middleton. What time do y'all have to leave?
We're going to leave at 4 o'clock tomorrow.
All right. Now, how long does it take to get to Middleton? About an hour and a half?
It's about an hour and a half.
Okay. So you will get there a little bit. I remember when those girls, I felt for them when they came to Humboldt. They got there 15 to 20 minutes before game time. Didn't even get to warm up. They just pretty much had to walk in and play. And it's the first time, Coach, I've ever seen a team, both the girls and the boys, get their warm-up shots at halftime. The girls didn't even go to their locker room that night. They stayed out on the court and kept shooting. So you're hoping to get there in time for our team to have a little bit of a warm-up.
Exactly. But that's typically when we make the trip to Middleton, that's pretty much how our night ends up anyway. We end up shooting. We don't get shots in at halftime, but it's definitely, we're already dressed before we go, so that we save time that way.
Yeah, definitely so. Well, you've got Middleton coming up Tuesday night. Friday night, we will be covering the Gibson County game. I can't swing the Middleton game. By the time I get the kids to their mom and all of that, I would be late, probably halftime even getting there. So I won't be able to do the Middleton game, but we are going to go to Gibson County with you. Now, that girls Gibson County team is a really good team. It's a tall order. They're the defending state champions. I still call them the defending state champions because last year we didn't really get to crown a champion. But that team is really, really good. When you look at Middleton and Gibson County, it's going to be a tough week, but it's a great night of experience for your team. I'll let you speak to that.
Exactly. The biggest thing that we've really focused on this season is building the capacity of our players. We know we're playing with a lot of young players, and so it's teaching them in real time, the game of basketball, how to move with and without the ball, how to make sure that they're learning the game, know what to do on offense, on defense, how to read the defense, and respond accordingly.
Sure, definitely so. And then, the next week, not any easier. You got Peabody, and then you end the season, the regular season, on February the 12th with a game at Madison over at Oman Arena. However, y'all played really well against Madison and Humboldt.
Yes. We've been excited that, we've made some adjustments to how we played as opposed to the first half of the season. The biggest thing for us has been focusing offensively on putting points on the board.
Yes, ma'am.
We've played some solid, good defense, and we've made good defensive stops when we need to, but we're having a hard time, finding that confidence to put the ball in the basket. And so that's what we've been spending a lot of our time on and focused on, getting them to get the shots up, to make the shots, taking good quality shots, and just finishing so that we can score or get to the free throw line.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I know you've already mentioned, you're dealing with a young team this year, and they've gotten a lot of crucial experience and playing time so far this season. But how do you keep them focused as you go into the final 4 games? Because it would be so much easier for them to start focusing on softball and things like that, but you still have a basketball season to be finished up as well.
Yeah, but we just really talk about positioning ourselves within the district. Definitely, if we can pick up some wins here towards the end, it'll help position us better than where we are. We don't want to be the absolute bottom team, but just based on the history and the progress that we've made over the last couple of years. But definitely, if we position ourselves somewhere about the middle, then it makes our journey through the district tournament a little bit easier, and we won't have a higher seed fight. So that's where our focus is right now. Just playing solid basketball and keeping the games close enough to where we can compete down the stretch and get a steal here and there and get a win so that we can position ourselves for once the tournament starts.
Yes, ma'am. Now, it's kind of a tall order because even in the last little bit of this season, in the last 4 games, you have 3 away games and 1 home game. Now, you say, well, why are you talking about that? This is a COVID year. Well, the governor dropped some of those regulations. Do we know? Have you heard anything? Are they going to allow more fans? I've not received an official word from George yet, but have you heard, are they going to allow a few more fans in that last home game for the Vikings?
Well, right now we haven't heard the official word from administration.
Okay.
So, I don't want to say and, it ends up being something different.
Sure.
But definitely we'll be excited if we are able to have more fans in the stand because the girls feed off of the energy of the crowd.
And a younger team, especially like you've got, would have fed so much more off that crowd as well if we could have just had them in there. And I understand the reasons why. It was safety. We understand that. We totally support that. But it would be great for them to be able to end this season. I think having fans in the stands for their last home game might encourage a few of them to play basketball next year.
Exactly.
I give them kudos for sticking this season out because there's been some games, I'm sure they've been difficult to coach. There's been difficult games for me to call as a radio host, but it's been even more difficult for those girls to keep putting their feet out on that court and continuing to play. What do you have to say about the tenacity of this team just to keep pushing forward?
Well, more than anything, like you said, I'm proud of them for showing up every day, game in and game out, and fighting from the beginning of the game to the end of the game, regardless of the outcome. It takes a lot of heart to be able to do that, especially when you're hearing criticisms from a lot of different directions.
That's right.
But for us, we really try to help focus them on making sure that, yes, we're going to close out this season and we're going to finish it in the best possible position that we can, but we've already, listed some of the things that we have to do after this season to prepare for next season so that we're in a completely different place than we were this year. Of course, COVID affected everything because we weren't able to do camps. We weren't able to do our own clinics that we normally do in-house. We weren't able to do scrimmages preseason, and we started the season in quarantine. And so we were extremely limited on what we were able to do. So we're optimistic about just having the freedom of a schedule once the season is over to get some summer play in. But then definitely also the excitement of, those middle school players that we have moving up. Some of the 5th and 6th grade players that will be transitioning over to the junior high. Like, there is momentum that's still being made within the Lady Vikings basketball program. And I definitely want people to, focus, our fans to focus on, the continuation of the tradition that we've worked very hard to kind of build over the last, 5 years and beyond.
Coach Green has done a great job with that junior high team. I was going to mention that. I'm glad you kind of led me into that question because these girls are getting some valuable playing time right now. They are in that junior high middle school association here in Tennessee and made it a little bit here in the playoffs. How much does that translate over to what you would think in like a next season moving up? Because obviously you're going to have some players coming back, but then adding that depth, I guess you could say, because we really haven't had much depth this year. If you have 5 girls on the court, but you only have 7 girls dressed out, it's only so much you can do with that.
Exactly. And so, the biggest thing is them having the opportunity to, play and get a feel for what the next level is like. And it gives our coaching staff the opportunity to work with all of the players from top to bottom.
Sure.
Skill development. And anytime we're looking at players, we're looking at, okay, yes, where they are right now, what we need to do to push them to get as much as we can get out of them during the course of the season.
Yes.
But definitely putting together plans for them so that they can be completely different ball players come the fall. Because we definitely have players that are playing for the first time. And so, give them a little bit more time and a little bit more refined development, then they're going to be completely different ball players come next year. And that's what we're hoping for.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Well, Coach, I appreciate you taking time for us on a Monday night, and good luck tomorrow night with you and those Lady Vikings traveling up, taking on the Middleton Tigers. And we will see you on Friday evening right here in Gibson County over in Dyer, Tennessee, as you take on the Lady Pioneers. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you.
All right, that's Coach Chandra Macklin joining us on this Monday night. I want to say a great big thank you to our sponsors while we got you here this evening. Baskerville Funeral Home, Bradley Owens, Attorney at Law, Haver Design and Marketing, the Humboldt Chronicle, also the high school class of 93, the Humboldt Lions Club, the Humboldt Viking Booster Club, Rheinhausen Manufacturers, and Tyson Foods. Thank you so much for joining us on this Monday night, and thank you to our sponsors for being a part of this show as well. Now, we have Coach Ronald Abernathy, who's going to be calling me here in just a couple of minutes, and we look forward to talking to him as well. I'm going to make sure I've got this ready to go, but there we go. It's set up. So as soon as Coach calls us, we'll be ready to get him on the air. So as we just said, they're going to be taking the long trip up to Middleton tomorrow night. Now, Middleton, we haven't seen them for quite a while. I say that. They came and played us January the 15th in Humboldt. And a pretty good game, boys and girls. And so we're looking forward to this one as well. And then you've got Gibson County. Now, Humboldt boys are going to be going into that Gibson County game with a little vengeance. That Gibson County team came in here and stole one from us. Hit that three-pointer at the end and sent us into overtime, and then ended up losing that game in overtime. Couldn't believe it. So I want to kind of get Coach Ab and talk to him about that and see, is that a message that you send your team, or do you just hope they go out there and play ball? I got a feeling I know his answer, but we'll ask it anyhow, okay? So some of us journalists just have to ask the easy softball questions every once in a while. I won't beat him up too hard here tonight. Appreciate you joining us. Now, as far as the official word from the school administration on if they're going to allow more fans in the stands, I have not heard. We should be able to get a word by Thursday this week as Coach George Yarbrough, our athletic director, will be joining us on Thursday for a program, I believe is the plan. So that's got all of that taken care of. And we are live on this Monday night. And if you would like to be on the show later on, I may open up the phone if I can get I've got it to where you can hear me and everybody on the air can hear me as well, so we'll try our best to do that. Colin is going to be joining us if he can a little bit later, but I may open up the phone line and actually give you a different number tonight, so just be hanging loose there as we might be able to get that done for you this evening. We appreciate you joining us here. We are powered by Haver Design and Marketing out of Dyersburg, Tennessee. Now, this evening, quite a few of you are watching on our website, VikingNewsOnDemand.com. That's VikingNewsOnDemand.com. Now let's walk you through what that looks like, okay? And I may be able to do something here. I don't know if I have that on this computer, but I'm going to try it and see. If I do, I may be able to actually show you that website a little bit later on. If I can't do it tonight, I know I can do it at some point on this Monday evening show, walk you through that website and let you see what that website looks like. It has been just launched today, okay? This thing was launched today, and we are excited about this. I'm just going to tell you. And it's going to have some great potentials. We're going to archive some things there, and you just don't want to miss what's coming here on Viking News on Demand. Now, we cover all things Humboldt City Schools. We are not an official body by the school system. We do our best to support them in everything that we can and put as many of their events on there. Last year, I was actually personally the one who did their graduation video, and so we'll try to broadcast that one live as well if it would be their wishes right here on Viking News on Demand. But we cover school board meetings with a little recap afterwards by the next day, and that's coming up here in just a few days. So, you know, we got all those things coming up. We also have the ball games. We're specializing in the basketball and football. We'll have hopefully some updates on the basketball or the baseball, softball, volleyball seasons that would be up and coming, track and other news that would be released. So you don't want to miss those things, and it's going to be right here on Viking News on Demand. This thing is pushing close to a year. When it would come football season, it would be a year or so, right at about the end of July, first part of August is when we started this Viking News on Demand. And I appreciate Mr. George Yarborough, all of the fine folks at Humboldt City Schools who has supported this endeavor, especially the Viking Booster Club. That's right, the Viking Booster Club, making sure that these games get broadcast. And even, hey, I want to give a shout out to Mr. Ted Martin and Mr. Chance Baskerville for doing a great job this last Friday night. I was out of pocket, and they picked that game up, did a great job. And I'll tell you what, I was very, very happy with that production, and I want to say thank you to them for doing that ball game. They could have been doing a lot of other things, and but they decided to do that anyhow because they want these kids to get the recognition that they deserve as well. We're waiting on Coach Abernathy to be joining us here in just one moment. Sharing is caring. If you have not took a moment to share this video, we appreciate you doing that. Hey, Ted Martin says website looks good. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that. I do. I appreciate the comments there. I think the website looks pretty good as well, and it's going to be it's going to take on some different views, and we'll get some other videos and stuff up and going for it as well. So. You know, there's great things still to come. And we're watching those comments. You can now comment on the YouTube video. Every time we go up, you can comment on that video there. You can watch it live on our website. And I'm still working on trying to get it to where I can show you that website here in just a little bit. So we're working on that as we speak. We're waiting on Coach Ab, and then maybe Colin Streeter will be able to join us here in just a little while as well. So it's a Monday evening. It's 7:18, and it is cold outside. That's right. It is cold outside. And this weather just seems like it don't know what it wants to do. 60 degrees one day, and then just cold and chilly the next. I knew when they said the high today was going to be 38. I don't know if it ever got there. You know, to be honest with you, I don't know if it ever really got to 38 degrees. Well, they say it did. They say it got there about 4 o'clock this afternoon. And so we're looking at a low tonight of 29, a low of 29 this evening. So there you go. All right. Well, I think I'm going to be able to show you this computer and go over to Viking News on Demand and show you what all of that is going to look like. And you'll just have to just not mind the different tabs that are at the top of the screen here, but we're going to try our best to do that in just one moment when this decides to pull up. So apologize for that. It's called Live Radio, Live Viking News on Demand on a Monday evening. And again, we're waiting on Coach Abernathy today. We've ran down the schedule, and what a year it has been so far for your Vikings. The boys look poised to make a pretty deep run. We obviously hope to see them get to the championship. Girls, we're seeing some improvements. We're seeing better defense out of these girls. Just need some offensive boards. That's really what we are needing right now. And so we'll just have to we'll have to see, you know, what takes place here. But you know, we're definitely, let's see here, trying to make sure I'm not messing something up. Let me go back. It may not let me add it while we're in a live broadcast. That's probably what that is. So I'll have to show you that maybe in another video that we could maybe do in the middle of this week, show you kind of our new website and all of that. But you can go browse yourself right there, Viking News on Demand, and it's vikingnewsondemand.com. Appreciate you joining us. I'm sitting here kind of trying to buy some time for Coach to call us. If you're just joining us, we want to say a great big thank you one more time to our sponsors this evening. And those sponsors are, they are Viking News on Demand sponsors. We're powered by Havre Design and Marketing. Also, we want to say a great big thank you to Baskerville Funeral Home, Bradley Owens, attorney at law, and Humboldt Chronicle, Humboldt High School class of 93, Humboldt Lions Club, the Humboldt Viking Booster Club, Rheinhausen Manufacturers, Tyson Foods. So we appreciate our sponsors and making sure that he does have that number. I know I'd sent him a text earlier, but I'm just going to make sure he's got that number as we prepare for Coach Ronald Abernathy to join us here now. Looking at the schedule, they go to Middleton again on Tuesday. Then on Friday night, it is Gibson County at Gibson County. And then Tuesday, February the 9th, it is Peabody at Humboldt. Friday, February the 12th, will be Madison over at Oman Arena, downtown Jackson. Now, originally they had the district tournaments beginning on February the 18th. I don't expect those dates to change. However, how they do that may change. Let's take this call right here, and we've got Coach Abernathy on the line with us. Good evening, Coach. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Good evening. What about you?
Man, I am doing well, and I'll tell you what, I am sitting here shocked, wondering where this basketball season has went. We've only got 4 games left.
Yes, we do. We only got 4 left.
Wow.
4 district games. Yes, sir.
You would think this year would have drugged by with COVID and all of that, but it just seems like it has went by as fast as usual. And here we are sitting with 4 games left. You got a big game coming up Tuesday night at Middleton. What do you expect out of Middleton at home coming up?
Well, like it always is, it's always a tough place to play there at home.
Yes.
We played them there last year and lost to them in overtime on a real controversial call at the end of the game.
Yeah.
And of course, we had controversy at home this last time with our game.
Yeah.
And so, when we play them, it's always controversial. So my hope is that we just got our team ready because, for us, it's a big one.
Yes.
And, I sure would like to go in there and get it and get the victory and bring it home.
You've had a lot of games, Coach, that have come down to the wire this year, and we're not used to really sitting and seeing those things. I think about the Madison game, how that was really close. I think about Gibson County. You think you got them, and then they get it to their three-point shooter, and he hits a 3 and sends us to overtime, and then they end up beating us in overtime. Those games are tough. How do you see your team growing through games like that?
Well, we definitely grow because all of the shots that were made were bordered on miraculous.
Yeah.
Almost every one that's been close, one that they made, it's bordered on a miraculous shot.
Yeah.
We, again, during the course of the year, it's not about going undefeated for us. It's about getting ready to be able to withstand the test and so forth during tournament time. And I, in my opinion, think that has prepared us because all the shots have been tough. And even the last game against Madison, with the very controversial call at the end, where actually it appeared that our kid was out of bounds, but when we looked at the video and showed back on, he was not.
Yeah.
With the 2.2 seconds on the clock, which should have been our ball, and then the ball comes in. Then, the ball comes in, it goes to one man, it goes to the second one, it goes to the third one. He shots and all in 2.2 seconds. So, all those games that have been won like that have been miraculous. I like to, go out and try to win one without the theatrics.
Yes, sir. Definitely. So now you mentioned going back and watching video. And I know in football, they could turn in tape and have somebody review it. It doesn't really change the outcome of the game. Do you have that same outlet as a basketball coach?
No, and like I said again, it won't really change the game, but it just will, make people aware.
Yeah.
Because I'm just not so happy with the officiating. And, and it seems to me, it's just in my opinion,
yes, sir,
it's beyond the game and it's beyond the kids, it's like, I mean, I don't know what it is, you know, and I just don't know. And, and, you know, just like a call like that, I mean, it was so far from the line. It's different if it was close.
Sure.
And of a judgment, but you know, when we looked at the video, it was almost a foot away from the line.
Yeah.
And why the official blew the whistle and why he called, I mean, why he said it was out of bounds, I don't have any clue.
Well, you know, and we went back because it felt like, and this is just how it is in basketball, it felt like that last 2 seconds took forever. And so we went back and was like, did the guy forget to start the clock? And we timed it ourselves. It was less than a half a second off. So, I mean, you really couldn't make big a deal out of that either. But at the same time, you sit there and you feel bad for these kids because they had battled all night long against the number one team now in the state.
Well, you know, it was, and we had some extenuating circumstances too, because if you remember, we lost DeMarcus Williams, we lost Quandarius, we lost Brandon, which our 3 starters set for half the first quarter, and then pretty much the whole second quarter. But again, the kids that came in, they maintained the game, and we were down by 2 at the half. You know, so, you know, that was very encouraging.
Yes, it was. So, you know, how do you manage, do you even talk these things? I know probably what the answer is going to be, but I got to throw you a softball question here. So, but, you know, do you manage the feelings of, we got to get these games back? You lost to Middleton, tough game. Lost to Gibson County, tough game. You got both of them in the same week. Do those conversations come up, or do you just try to keep their head to the plow and say, hey, let's just keep playing good ball?
Well, we try to take it one game at a time.
Okay.
And try not to look forward. And our focus, you know, of course, you know, we look at video. We look at the video of the other team. We look at video of us. And we just try to focus on one game at a time.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, and right now that's Middleton. And we know we don't look ahead. As a matter of fact, we haven't even mentioned Gibson County.
Sure.
We just try to focus in on going tomorrow night, beating Middleton. And like I said, we just focus on doing, you know, playing one game at a time.
Yes, sir.
Because this is that part of the season where, you know, once you play them, it's over. So, you know, our goal is just to play that one game at a time.
This coaching staff has been together quite a while, and you can tell it on the sidelines. And, you know, just knowing that a lot of times, you know, y'all don't get too animated in the game because you know how the confidence you've got in your players. I want you to talk a little bit about the bond that you have with that coaching staff and how special that really is, because a lot of fans may not realize what that is.
Well, it really is a special bond. I don't know if any of you know it, but Marcus Butler actually played for me in college.
Yes.
He was actually played at Lane College when I was coaching there. Marcus Butler's on the winningest team in Lane College basketball history.
I didn't know that. Wow.
He was my point guard, and he was ferocious. He was a great defender. He could shoot it from 3. He played fast-paced, and he's been with me the whole 7 years.
Awesome.
And then, of course, Adrian Ingram this is his 6th year.
Okay.
And then this is Coach Shiver's 5th year.
Yes.
And we do have a tremendous staff that works hard, and you know, I have to give them a lot of credit because, you know, I give them responsibilities and they live up to them pretty much. You know, when we break down practice, Marcus is in charge of the guards and the wing players. And then Steve Shivers and Adrian Ingram are in charge of the 4s and the 5s.
Yeah.
And when we break it down individually in practice, they are in charge of those respective positions. And they do the same pretty much during the game. If you see during the game, you know, sometimes I'll try to just listen, but you know, it doesn't happen a lot because, you know, they put the work in during the week and they put the work in during the practices. I'm just a final decision maker, but our staff is tight. And another thing people probably don't know or understand is over the course of my 7 years there, we've lost 2 coaches and we didn't replace either one of those. You know, we lost Charles Evans was our, you know, with me in my 2nd, 3rd year.
Okay.
And when he left, you know, we got together with the staff and we just decided that we, you know, I asked them, you know, we can hire another person or we can, you know, split the load up. And they decided to split the load up. And then, you know, last year we lost the strength and conditioning coach, Tony Lambert, and one of our assistants also. And we did the same thing.
Yeah.
So we just continue because we know each other. They pretty much know what I like. And that's the big key. And the loyalty is there. But they pretty much know how I am. I can pretty much walk in and in practice. I walk in before practice. They pretty much know how I am. And, it's a great bond. It's a great bond. It's a great coaching staff. As far as Marcus and I are concerned, we got over 160 wins in our 6+ years. And
it's
of
amazing.
course, Adrian is the 6th year for Adrian, and the 5th year for Coach Shivers, and that is a tremendous asset because the discipline, the focus, the game preparation goes from top to bottom, from 7th grade all the way to 12th, from 12th all the way back down to the 7th. And we assist each other, and great staff. Probably, I'll venture to say probably one of the best high school basketball coaching staffs in the state and pretty much in this country, because we work hard at it.
I can agree with that. And, I see you at the middle school games. I've called a couple of middle school games this year, and I see you hanging around, eating popcorn, standing at the door. How much interaction do you have with that middle school team?
Like I said, a lot. At the beginning of the year, we kind of all go at it in preseason. And, first year I came, Marcus, myself, kind of went over, put the offense in for the middle school, and and they know we're aware, because actually Saturday's game was kind of funny because I did go to Whiteville Saturday to watch them play.
Okay.
And then coaches was telling me, the kids were looking around like, wow, Coach Ab is here.
Yeah.
And the coaches were saying they definitely perk up, and when you're around, they definitely perk up and just kind of want to show you, that their biggest thing is, Coach, I'm going to play for you next year. And that's their biggest thing. And when the coaches told me when I walked in Saturday, the kids perked up and said, oh, did y'all know Coach Ab was coming? But, I do support them because we do have a great program from 7th grade all the way through. We have a 7th and 8th grade team.
Yes.
We have a freshman team. We have a junior varsity team. And, of course, the varsity.
Yes,
and
sir.
So we are a real close-knit staff. And, we win together, we lose together, we live together, we die together.
Yes, sir. Well, I'll tell you, I have been very impressed with how y'all work together, and this is a great staff. Somebody commented online, said you have a great staff, Coach, and we agree with all of that. Also, just to kind of let you know, Viking News on Demand has branched out. Now you don't have to be on social media to watch your games anymore. They can go to VikingNewsOnDemand.com. VikingNewsOnDemand.com.
Okay.
And they're going to publish this in the paper in our ad coming up, I think, next week. But they can actually just go to a website. Because I know there's a lot of people that don't do social media, and I don't blame them. So
well, guess what, Seth?
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, that's probably good. Yeah, that's probably
I don't, but I would have to say my wife does plenty.
Yeah. Well, I do see her jumping on the feeds quite a bit. So
yes, she
sir.
is. Yes, she does.
Yes, sir. Well, I do appreciate you taking time out for us, Coach. I'm not going to be able to make the Middleton trip. By the time I get my girls to my wife, or my girl and boy to the wife, I would have a hard time getting there. But we are going to be at Gibson County, and we don't miss another game for the rest of the year. So we're going to do our best to cover even the district tournament. And we're hoping, I haven't heard an official word yet, but we're hoping your final home game we can have a few more fans than what we've been having, because I know the governor kind of lifted a few restrictions there.
It is senior night also.
Yeah.
So the expectations are high, and there would be, I can almost assure you, there'll be a lot more fans there next Tuesday.
All right. Well, Coach, I really appreciate it, and we'll try to do this again on Monday night next week. I'll be in touch with you.
Okay. All right.
All right. Thank you, Coach. That is Coach Ronald Abernathy with the Humboldt Senior High School basketball team, and we appreciate him joining us tonight. And I'm going to go ahead and see if Colin's going to let me know if he's going to join us this evening as well. He is on daddy duty right now, and we'll talk a little bit about Viking basketball and see what he's got going. Hey, folks, let us know what you think about the website. I did have some telling us earlier they liked it. The website looked really good. Next week, maybe even on the Thursday show, I can go ahead and walk you through what all of that looks like and try our best to let you kind of see what our vision for that website is. It's not going to be anything really just majorly different than what we're doing now. It's just you don't have to have a social media account to to be able to get on there and watch the games. What is Viking News on Demand? Well, if you're just stumbling across the video tonight, you might be watching on YouTube just from the sake of scrolling through some YouTube videos. Viking News on Demand was birthed in 2020 as a news source that did focus their coverage on Humboldt schools, mainly athletics, but we do cover other things as well, such as giving you a board meeting recap. We have also covered graduations. We have covered different things. Then athletic signings, we've covered those as well. And I think we may be able to start covering those live again, and it would be right here on our website. Obviously, games and that sort of thing is a major emphasis. And also Thursdays, we have our Thursday School News show with our athletic director, Mr. George Yarborough. The first half of the show, usually 20 to 25 minutes, is talking about school news, and that's more focused on academics. Then we take a commercial break, we come back, and then we focus on athletics. Then, let's see, on Monday night, you're watching the Monday OT every Monday, 7 to usually around 8 o'clock. Tonight, it may be a little bit shorter. If my colleague can't join me this evening, we may go ahead and cut this short here in just a little bit. And then, obviously, ball games throughout the week. It is our desire to help get the word out on the positive things that are taking place right here in the city of Humboldt. You can watch live just by clicking the Watch Live tab and then scroll down and click the video link there, and you can watch it live. You can also go to the archives. Archived right now on the archives page, you can watch the Lady Vikings versus the Lady Tigers. You can watch the Humboldt Viking boys playing the Halls Tigers, and announcers for those two games was Mr. Chancellor Baskerville and Mr. Ted Williams. You can also watch the school news show. The last one we had was January 21st, so you can go back and watch that. And then we have the Monday OT from 12/7. Before tonight, we had not done a Monday OT in a while, and so we wanted to make sure, and I'll make sure and have this one archived on that page pretty soon. So make sure that you go on. If you missed any part of this show tonight, you can go on and watch that there. And then the last tab there is contact. And we do ask you to put your name, your email, and your comment, and let us know kind of what you think about the website. Let us know if there's anything that you would like to see us covering and doing more of, and we'll do our best to do that. And we're going to try to get this weekly thing back with Coach Ab and Coach Macklin. Kind of been letting that slide just a little bit, but we're going to pick that back up. So thank you so much for joining us on this Monday night. I'm not getting any word back from Colin, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to probably go ahead and wrap this show up tonight, and we appreciate you joining us on this Monday evening. Let's do one more time, talk about our sponsors, if I can get that to pull up here in just a moment. Here it is, Baskerville Funeral Home. We have Bradley Owens, attorney at law, the Humboldt Chronicle, and also Humboldt High School class of 93, Humboldt Lions Club, the Humboldt Viking Booster Club, Rheinhausen Manufacturers, Tyson Foods, and we are, as you see there on your screen, powered by Haver Design and Marketing. Thank you so much for joining us on this Monday. That's all that we've got for you tonight, folks. God bless you and have a great rest of your week. We will see you live right here Thursday night for the Viking News School Show at 6 o'clock p.m.